Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary, and I am on the mend. So, I am still super sore. It's hard for me to lift my arms. But hold on, let me get some water. So, just wanted to come in today and just check in on a recipe that I'm working on. I barely lift up my arm. Well, so today I want to talk about some vegan sushi, right? So I can care less what labels you call yourself. But I'm going to share this recipe. I love living foods. I also love preparing food for people. So I'm always excited to experiment inside of the kitchen healing laboratory to find out what I can come up with to share with folks. So this is my second time making this, and I'm going to see what the recipe looks like. So this is vegan sushi. So let's see. I'm going to check in now. I did mention I got hit by a car yesterday, so I'm moving a little slow, right? It's kind of hard for me to move my shoulders. So let's see what it's looking like. And I think it's coming out pretty good. Ugh, gosh, my shoulder's hurting. Okay, y'all, so this is what it's looking like so far. I'm pretty impressed. The first time I made it, I tweaked the recipe, right? So unprocessed. I'm not big on dehydrated food so much anymore, but check this out. I think it's coming out pretty good. So isn't that interesting? It's vegan sushi, and the flavor is so good. So I don't think it's done. I think I'm going to turn it over, right? So we have to have some things to look forward to. And if you're looking at changing, excuse me 1 second. I want to stay hydrated. If you're looking at changing how you're eating, or if you want to trade some things off, whatever labels you want to put on yourself, you need some things to look forward to. And I am totally like inspired by textures, flavors, herbs. Like, then you're not dieting. So just check this out one more time. This is my vegan sushi. Isn't this fantastic? So it's no TVP. I think it's coming out really good this time. So I'm always paying attention to details. So the way that I cut it this time around, the size. Let me turn it around. Let me just taste the flavor. And I didn't even need to buy a whole bunch of different ingredients from the store. See, the vegetable kingdom and queendom, everything is right in there. So I am so proud of myself. I am so creative. I wish y'all was here so you could taste it. This is coming out really, really good this time. Look at this. So I've been wanting to try this forever. This is my second time making it. So this is vegan sushi. And the whole thing is the flavor and the texture. Right? So I think I've got the marinade nailed down. Gotta make sure I get it really good because I have some discerning critics in here. Right? My family members will tell you if something don't taste good. Right? But this time I really, oh my God, it smells fantastic. This is all just from ingredients inside my kitchen. No TVP, no flour. None of that. So now what I'm thinking about is how do I want to serve it, right? Do I want to do a version of like a sushi type rice, or like I'm planning to have like several ideas in my head. So let me put this back in. So it's drying at a low temperature. So let's stick this back in. Careful with my shoulders if I drop the whole tray. Okay. So the other things that we are working on over here in the kitchen is we're going to be making a shampoo from Nopales. Isn't it so cute? So the Nopales that I have outside, it started from a little teeny wee piece, and now it's like grown out. I have to like walk around it to get around. So you can find this in Mexican shops. Some folks cook it or fry it. You can just take a knife and, rinse it off, scrape off the pieces. So I have more nopales here. So it's a cactus, right? It's actually really good for diabetes. You can put it in your smoothie. Some people fry it. I've seen some people season it and put it inside the dryer, aka dehydrate and marinate it. I'm going to scrape this off, and you can either grate it with a grater. I got all kind of tools, so excuse me, y'all. I'm moving a little slow. It's been a challenging weekend. So you can grate it and then blend it with water, and I'm going to squeeze it through the plant milk bag, and it will give you a very gelatinous kind of mixture similar to aloe. So this is really, really good for your hair. So if you don't want to go out and spend $12 on a bottle of shampoo and you want something that's not going to strip your hair, you can use the nopales, and they're not that expensive, and you're not leaving any kinds of chemicals inside your system. So that's one thing we're working on. Nopales. We have the veggie sushi, and I think there's something else because I'm not interested in being a slave to products. We're going to rinse this off. So for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. This is Body-Culinary. Professional chef, personal trainer, all that good stuff. And this is the right knife. And on this channel, I share my journey of radical self-acceptance. So I'm going to be scraping all of this off, right? Which comes off pretty easy, right? So just scrape it with a little knife. So I share my journey of radical self-acceptance, inspiration to start a garden, and to cultivate a movement practice. So it's interesting how you can manipulate your own mood. Because I came on here yesterday, I'm not feeling too. I could say my shoulder is challenged. My shoulder, my neck, it's challenged. But for some reason, I'm in a good mood. I think it's because of what I've been looking at and talking about. You know what? Actually, I'm in a good mood from helping somebody else. Isn't that interesting? So I'm feeling like extra. I'm feeling extra good because it's energy. Right? You got to look at the energy you're consuming. So I think this is fresh. I just pulled this right out of the garden, so I don't know if you can see that that's very gelatinous, right? So this is something that you can use if you don't feel like spending a whole bunch of money on expensive shampoos. You can use nopales. Now, the other thing that I've been thinking about, I typically don't use any products in my hair. I don't use any conditioner, any kind of leave-in. I have very, very fine, cottony afro textured hair. Everything gets caught in it. It doesn't like to be messed with. And I'm not going to lie, I actually like washing my hair, most of the time rinsing it with tea. So I'm going to cut the edges off. Rinsing it with tea from time to time. I found it like a natural shampoo. But I really don't like putting things in my hair. And I have a tendency to rinse it a lot. Why? Because the water for me is very therapeutic. However, if you have very, very fine textured hair, you may want to be careful because I've found, right, it's very easy to strip your hair and it can make your hair kind of brittle. So it's okay, but it's a delicate balance. So I think that's why it's important. One thing that says to have your own journey, whether that's with food, with your hair. It's easy to look at everybody else's experience, but I don't know if you can shortcut. So I scraped all that stuff off of here. Experimenting with yourself and being 110% responsible for your own results, right? So I'm gonna rinse all of these off so I can make a nice little, instead of cold wash with all of that oil, I'll do a cold wash with the nopales. So again, I do a lot of tea rinsing. And I got stuff in the garden, right? When you start growing, you don't want to waste the stuff that's in it because that's a lot of money. If they took this and put it to a shampoo, they'd probably charge you $15 or $20 for some nopales shampoo if somebody hasn't already done it yet. So, and rinsing my hair, if you pay attention, like listen to your body, listen to your hair, I notice it's getting a little wee bit brittle because I have a tendency to also be out in the garden and I don't like to put hats and coverings on, which I know is no bueno, but I don't really like to put stuff on, so I'm still scraping these. So I'm not big on oil. However, if you notice your hair is breaking off or you're just going to hold on dogmatically to a concept, while your hair is breaking because you don't want to use oil. No, you're going to use your common sense. And I think that's really an important principle. If something's not working for you, that could be your diet, that could be anything, then it's up to you to experiment and find out what works. The responsibility is on you because you live with you. So anyhow, I took some, intuitively took a little olive oil, just a little bit, and I actually took it. So when I'm saying a hot oil treatment, I'm not dousing my my hair within it because actually my hair is so light, it can't take it. It looks like it's thick. That's because I'm not twisting. I've embraced the afro. So all of them are extremely flat, right? But I embrace it because it looks fuller. So it's complementary to my hair. Actually, I haven't even been twisting it. So I'm noticing they're growing together, right? They're all locking, but I don't feel like doing anything to it. My whole routine is this. Some water and smooth it down. So I just took a little bit of olive oil, and all I did, when I say a little bit, and I've just been smoothing it. And so I noticed that's kind of conditioning. Now, do I want to keep putting a whole lot of oil in my hair? No, but instead of conditioner, that's something that I did. I don't want grease on my clothing. I don't want grease on my yoga mat. I don't want grease on my face, which is prone to acne. So that would be my version, warming up in my hands, just a little bit of a hot oil treatment. And maybe I'll do that twice a year. I don't know, but all this is to say you're on your own journey. You don't have to do nothing but stay you and stay you. But it's up to us to find our own sweet spot when it comes to our lifestyle, our movement practice, our food. Interesting, something I always said to my son, we'll respect other people's, their whatever their religion is and whatever their food choices are, right? And I think that's important. Otherwise, it's so easy for us to be so divisive over just silly things. At this point, I'm more concerned with kind of person somebody is and more so than what they're eating. What you're doing is for you. Your practices and your so-called morals are for you. And it's something I was thinking of earlier. Just I was doing some research. Something sparked a thought with me. Are your morals all the time? Are they really morals? Or are there certain things that we're doing out of fear, right? Now, maybe sometimes there's a healthy dose of apprehension about doing something that could off you, right? But how much of what we do is really based on morals or really out of fear of shame or fear? What other people are going to say? And is that really morals? I don't know. Some of my garden musings. So I'm going to take this Nopales. I'm going to finish scraping it. And then I'm going to proceed to grate it. Now, I suppose you could put this inside of the blender. But sometimes I find that when you use the blender or the food processor, things come out like a little bit different in terms of the texture. And this comes out really gelatinous when you grate it. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a bunch of this and I'm going to grate it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So how's that for a hot oil treatment? All I'm doing is warming up my hands, heating up my hands, and putting a little bit on my hair just to condition it. But in general, I don't prefer to put oil or anything in my hair. I'll wash it and that's it. So this is in me not wanting to run out and spend on shampoo. Because again, why shouldn't we use the stuff that's in the garden if you're going to spend a lot of time to grow and nurture the plants? And I have a vision. I would love to see 1 million+ women. Well, everything from this beauty mark, all the economics are circulating amongst the women that have this unique beauty mark. And so when we go to travel across to other countries, you see that all the women and young women are flourishing from all those dollars and all that money circulating back around. So I've scraped them all up, and so now I'm going to grate them. So I can use either this grater, this is one of my favorite graters, or I can use a box grater. Ugh. Oh, my shoulder. Ugh. Oh, so I'm still sore. So I'm going to take these all. I'm going to grate them, the nopales, the cactus, and it's very slimy, kind of like okra. So I've seen folks, some Rasta folks, I don't know if you can see how slimy that is, but it's super slimy like okra. I don't know if you can see, right? So you can consider this a co-wash or a conditioner. The nice thing is some like kind of alkaline, so it's not going to really strip your hair because it doesn't have the harsh detergents. And I think that's something for us to be really mindful of again, if you have fine hair, and then what I mean by fine hair, you don't have a lot. Let's say your hair is it's not very thick. So over here we embracing what we got, right? I love Valerie June's hair. I ain't gonna never have no Valerie June's hair, and it's all gravy. So, but if your hair, like again, you can look at so many people's channels, right? But if your hair is very fine, you know, you want it to stay on your head, the more and more you're washing it with harsh detergents, and that actually feels good to me. But my hair constantly says, "Girl, if you don't leave me alone." So when you're washing it and you're stripping it, I noticed that this was getting brittle, and I just did a nice size cut, maybe like a month and a half ago. Yeah, and I started to get scissor happy. So this is the marker for anybody that's still taking the Afro Flower challenge. This is where I had gotten up to. So maybe I cut about this, maybe about this much off. This is the one I really got scissor happy, and I stopped here. So this is going to be the marker. And the only thing we're focusing on is water, and then living water. My shoulder. This would be living water. Oh, excuse me, y'all. My arm is still hurting. So the cucumber, the chayote or the chocho, and the tomato. So this I consider living water, right? And it's natural package. All of this stuff is really good. I'm somebody that used to have a lot of acne. So I don't use any products. I'm basically using the food primarily on the inside, and then I'll take it. I'll put it on the outside and on the inside. This is what I'm eating. So no powders, no pills. This is super simple. All this is inexpensive, especially if you go to a wholesaler or if you go to a farmer's market. And if you already have a copy of Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget, you'll see that there are several different shopping lists with different budgets. So if you're a college student just managing your own money, or a young couple, or a mom, or I recommend, as I've recommended for many years, for folks to find some of your friends and go to the wholesaler or all the fruit and vegetable stands where they get their stuff. You can go to the wholesaler and you can buy food by the case. And so I have one children, but I still for many years bought all my stuff by the case. So when I buy cucumbers, sweet potatoes, all those things by the case, I don't have to run out and shop as much, so that saves me a lot of time. And then I get super creative. I've got to be able to do at least 10 different things with a cucumber. So I'll juice it. I'll have noodles. I'll have cucumber mint lemonade. I'll have facial wash. I'll have a spray for my hair. So that's my principle around here. Body-Culinary principle, just like with Grandma Lou. I take one thing, because remember, one time Afro folks, we couldn't go shop in other people's stores, so we had to use simple principles. So I call it the ways of the grandmothers. We take one thing, and we do at least 10 things with it, and we can't get any more out of it. We take the pulp that's left over, might use it for a facial scrub, and then whatever's left, I throw it into the compost. So I'm getting so much use. And if you're starting your garden, right, if you're looking at any of the videos on the garden or getting information on YouTube, and you start to see if it takes me about 4 months, anywhere from 3.5 to 4 months, sometimes a little bit more than 4, to get a whole harvest, and you've been watering once or twice a day and weeding and making compost, you're less likely to be wasteful with what it is you're pulling from the garden. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I recommend that people start some kind of a garden, at least some kind of herbs to start. Something beautiful to look at, to rest your eyes on green for relaxation, and then something to eat. That could be herbs, that could be sprouts. Even if you're in a colder zone, everybody can grow something, right? If you got little recycled, back when I was in elementary school, we used the old milk cartons, any kind of container. I have old water bottles. I would use anything to grow something in. And you can even try a great experiment to do with your children or with your partner or by yourself, is to take the seeds out of everything that you eat and put it in the ground and see if it'll grow. So this also, I like to say, activates different types of intelligences, right? First of all, you'll start to notice whether any of the food, whether or not it has seeds, right? We come from seeds, right? Everything should have some seeds in it. And so you can start to you'll start to ask questions. If this is not sprouting, right, or germinating, have the seeds been tampered with? Or like I noticed, I just saw somebody cutting some watermelon and had no seeds. And as pretty as the color red is and as nice as it smells, I'm like, so this is kind of an interrupt, because I know there should ideally be seeds in there. So it might be on sale, but sometimes I'm just like, and sometimes you can find it as organic and it still doesn't have seeds in it. So sometimes we're moving so fast we don't even notice that we're eating food that may have been tampered with. Imagine if nothing has seeds, then how are you going to grow something? So I recommend that anything that you're paying, especially if you're paying organic, even if you're not paying organic, right? Or it might be locally grown, to take the seeds out of it, cucumbers, tomatoes, see if it will grow and put it into the ground. Chayote, the jicama, see what's going to happen. There's so many things that you're eating now that can actually go in the ground, or you can propagate it inside of some water. And this will activate different types of intelligences. And pretty much everything that you're eating can go on your skin, right? The tomatoes have lycopene in it. These bust up fat. Put it on the inside, because the skin and muscle tissue on the inside of your body. So I know we like to think about the skin on the outside and on the face, and we think about muscles, but there's actually tissue right on the inside, even inside of your arteries. So I like to think of, more so than dieting or even vegan, I like to think of peaceful consumption, and peaceful in the context of peaceful to my arteries, peaceful to my womb, right? So I can keep my internal and my reproductive organs intact and lots of blood flow, not all clogged up. I want to avoid any kind of growth, right? And also the food is relaxation, which is good for stress when you're spending good quality time preparing food for yourself. So I want the food peaceful to my reproductive organs, my artery, first of all, my brain. I know most of us, or many of us, may not even be thinking about the brain when we're eating things that are recreational. And maybe we even know they leave a toxic residue. But we're so busy having the party in our mouth. And I love the party in my mouth. However, I don't like separation. Right? So peaceful consumption, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, fresh ground spices, whatever ratio you want to use it. The good thing is this, right? Because who cares about the labels, right? More concerned about the behavior and the results. If you start to crowd in more of all of these colors and the yellows and the purples, your palette over time will change. And for all you folks that come over here for hair, this is hair food. I know we're taking all these hair vitamins, but how did the nutrition get inside of the vitamins? And I don't know if we even consider that some of the vitamins we're taking are synthetic. So if they're synthetic, your cells, right? All these trillion cells, they're living, breathing organisms. They eat, they poop, they have a whole intelligence. They can tell if I'm eating this versus this. Right? So our cells are having a response, a reaction, inflammation. They're sending out warning signals if we're putting in, as I like to call it, substances that are masquerading as food. They may be full to the brim with flavor, right? However, if they can sit on a shelf for 3 years indefinitely, you might want to consider, how that's going to have an effect on our cells, right? We want the hair to grow. The hair is really growing from the inside out. And so even also, if I'm taking in this fresh nutrition, I want to circulate it around my body with some kind of movement, right? And there's all kinds of movement options. So I'm whipping out my trampoline because I was just in a little, well, maybe not the trampoline. I got to ease up. But I need to get some kind of circulation, some kind of movement, some kind of therapy, because I really do it for therapy because of how it makes me feel. At the same time, I have to respect my body because I'm on the mend. But I need to get moving because it's therapeutic. So I'm going to go ahead and grate. I don't want to track I'm going to go ahead and grate this up and blend it with some water, right? So I have the option of the box grater or this one. I'm going to blend it with some water, and I'm going to squeeze it through the plant milk bag. I'm going to squeeze it through the plant milk bag. So this is a really nice sturdy material. I've had all kinds of bags like made of cheesecloth to squeeze milks and different concoctions that I'm making inside my kitchen healing laboratory. However, a lot of times the cheesecloth, the holes are so big that when you go to squeeze it, a lot of the pulp will come out. And I'm very picky, or not picky, I'm saying sensitive to the textures, because if you're drinking a milk and it's not smooth and creamy, especially if it's unprocessed, it can kind of turn you off or be chalky if you have all of that residue in it. So this is a really nice, sturdy material, right? And so I make these, and those are on Body-Culinary on the Etsy shop. So this is multi-purpose. I've taken these with me when I've traveled. I've grown sprouts in them. I've made milk in them. I squeeze aloe through here. I'm going to squeeze the Nopales through here. And if you don't have a juicer, no worries. You can actually take your vegetables and even some fruits, and you can cut them up really, really small, put them inside of your blender with a little bit of water and blend it. And then you can put it over a big measuring cup. You can pour it in and you can squeeze, you can milk the plant milk bag instead of milking the cow. Well, you just have options, whatever you want to do, right? So this is multi-purpose and it's like super sturdy. And then you can wash it and hang it out to dry. So you make sure, and periodically I will sanitize them. So this is super sturdy and this is like a staple in here. So I just wanted to just come in and check in with you. I'm on demand. I just want to share some good vibrations because this is good relaxation. I have a list. Relaxation energy, and I'm going to take some pictures of the sushi, right? And first of all, the flavor is fantastic. So this time I'm tweaking the recipe, and I'm just want to figure out what I want to serve it with. If I want to pull some bok choy from the garden, I think I definitely want to pair it with some lemon basil. But I'm thinking I don't know if I want to do it with sushi or like I have a list now. Sashimi. And try to figure out what I want to serve with. Or if I'd like to do a version of mashed potatoes. So I have 2 different vegetables that I like to use for a mashed potato that are not starchy. And this is a good alternative for those folks that, for you, because everybody has to find their sweet spot, right? That don't need to eat as much starchy food, right? If you're packing on a lot of adipose tissue, or if you're in a space where you want to do more cleansing foods, there are some options to mashed potatoes or to starch. So there's so much room for creativity in the vegetable kingdom and queendom. So I'm going to go play with the Nopales. I'm going to take some pics and post it inside of the community section. And when the sushi is done, I'm going to share it and we'll do a taste test. So I'm just sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. Class is open. The registration for Common Sense Nutrition and Efficient Fitness. Those are lunchtime classes, so you just have to adjust your schedule. So that should be up on the site. Natural Beauty No Products. That's available for download on the site, as well as Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. So like, comment, subscribe. You're always welcome to comment respectfully in the comment section. My perspective is not the only perspective. And I'd love to hear if anybody is taking the Afro Flower Hair Challenge. Let me know how it's going. So I am really loving this. Sometimes intuitively, I'm not doing anything, right? So I'm just rinsing it and I'm not separating it. So I don't know how long this is going to go. So it's only 38 fine locks to begin with. So we shall see. But I'm just really feeling like this is it. I'm soothing, smoothing, and that's it. I'm leaving this fine hair alone. All right, so I'll see you all soon.